In our fourth episode, we talked about safety, because safety is the most important need in mobility, and have a deep dive in what's important and what multi-level can bring to this feature. Back again, Manuel, for episode 4. Now we're switched side
It's easier for the neck.
and to get another perspective on the technology. We want to focus now on the low voltage side of the multi-level approach or on the multi-level technology. So what is meant when you're talking about low voltage?
Low voltage is for each electrical engineer department and different voltage, I would say. So if I would talk to a high voltage guy, which is doing lightning research or something like this, they talk about low voltage if it's below 10,000 volt. Also the logical guys are talking about low voltage if it's microvolts or something like this. But on the power electronics side, where we think about it, it's below 48 volt.
Mm-hmm.
So that's basically the main reason why modules of electrical vehicles, well, not the full pack. The full pack is 400 to 800 volt, but the modules are 48 volt. Though on the
Which is also an industry standard, like 12, 24, 48.
15 phase, something like this, because you doesn't need an high voltage guy who is doing work on this voltages, though. Also, someone which has not done an apprenticeship or something like this on high voltage applications can work on it, and it's cheaper for the car manufacturer. Though they decided to do it in this way, but we see a change in on the car manufacturer side. So Tesla, for example, is doing cell to pack designs, no any longer this model designs, because they doesn't want to have these connections and everything we need around your batteries to have a module.
Mm-hmm.
The metal and all, it's not any lower in the future cars. So Tesla began with it. BYD is also doing behind BYD, behind your dreams.
Mm-hmm.
Also does this cell pack things. So I think it's the future. But if you think about the voltage, it is changing from 400 volt to 800 volt, because then the faster charging is possible, and charging is the main key for the customer. But it's more dangerous. So 400 volt, it is possible to die, or there's a high risk to die on if you have battery packs with 400 volt, and 800 volt is double the voltage, so it's also pretty harmful. Me, for example, I worked during my PhD a longer period also on 800 volt, and you smell like fear. You smell fear afterwards. So you always think about not to make a mistake, because it's clear you are dead if you make a mistake. And so voltage is easier, and we are working with multi-level, so 4 volt. It's a good feeling working on 4 volt. for me, it's always a good example that this battery packs, this for small applications have 9 volt block voltages.
Yeah.
And I think each kit has done his tongue on such a battery. They have 9 volt and 48 volt also, and then 400 volt. It's helpful.
Yeah.
You have to make a difference between AC, alternating current, and DC, direct current. But 48 volt is
but like we've talked about 4 volt that each battery has, and 400 or 800 volt that's the whole drivetrain needs. Where are the 48 volt come into play? Like when I go to the car, when do you measure those 48 low voltage?
There you can measure it.
Yeah.
Though if you have a car, it is not possible to measure.
Yeah.
Also the side supplies are 48 volt, but we think about the battery. It is possible to measure it if you would have a module with plus and minus and your potty.
Okay. So that means when
in a normal car, it's static connected. So you have the 400 volt on your pack.
Yeah, even with a multi-level.
No, multi-level converter, it's different because a multi-level converter, there are the switches between the batteries.
Yeah.
And then it is possible to generate high voltages if you need it. So if you have to charge the car, you need the 230 volt, 50 hertz on the drivetrain. And if you are driving, you need the voltage which is necessary on the system. But if the system is shut down, there are just 4 volt, and it is possible, not possible to damage someone. This make it easy for the manufacturing guys, or the OEM, to build such vehicles, because they doesn't need this high voltage guys to make the pack. It makes it easier if there's a damaged car, or if there's a damaged car. We talked about having an injured person in a damaged car, which is maybe burning or something like this. It is easier for the firemen or the helpers to rescue someone. But also, if you think about
workshops.
You think about workshops, it is also possible to have just one person which has this high voltage thing, and the others can work on it. The high voltage guy says, okay, there is no harmful voltage, then everyone can work. But working together with the VDE for 1.5 years to get a conclusion on this statement. But on the law side, it's not easy to get a statement on them, because it's a new system which has not been done, and the laws doesn't think about such systems. So we have to do new laws.
So it's all a matter of safety in the end.
It's a matter of safety.
Yeah.
And thinking about a battery on cells makes more sense than thinking about a pack.
Yeah.
Also, you doesn't have to be in workshop that often, because you can switch batteries off which are damaged. On the customer side, a multi-level converter makes that much sense.
So to conclude it, like we can think about that we need less people with an high voltage specialization when we want to develop application based on multi-level, or like which go into the high voltage, and when there are like accidents and or something happens that that you go to the drivetrain or to the whole package, like someone has contact with it, there's a good chance that there won't be 400 or 800 volts on it, but only 4, or like the batteries are not connected the whole time. Are those like the 2 points, or is there also a third point?
On the safety side, I think the basically part. If you think about an vehicle, it's interesting that you have this 400 to 800 volt, and also the 4 volt, and also have the connection of low voltage
devices.
Low voltage devices, which has 48 volt. That's also because 48 volt is not harmful, and then you can use your chassis as your minus. That makes sense.
Yeah. Okay, so I would say we come to the end of our 4th episode about low voltages. Famous last words.
The best multi-level chair in the world is BAVERTIS 5.
We let it stay.